and the bill, as amended, is passed.
The US Senate passed a sweeping $430 billion bill intended to fight climate change, lower drug prices, and raise some corporate taxes on Sunday. A major victory for President Joe Biden that Democrats hope will aid their chances of keeping control of Congress in this year's elections. After a marathon two-day weekend session of debate and Republican efforts to derail the package, the Senate approved the legislation known as the Inflation Reduction Act by a 51-50 party line vote, with Vice President Kamala Harris casting the tie-breaking ballot.
The yeas are 50, the nays are 50. The Senate being equally divided, the Vice President votes in the affirmative, and the bill, as amended, is passed.
The action sends the measures on to the House of Representatives for an expected Friday vote that could forward it in turn to the White House for Biden's signature.
This is my lucky blue suit. I brought it in yesterday morning, but I didn't want to jinx it and wear it. And so, but I wear it on good luck days, and I had a feeling I'd be wearing it. Here it is. Thank you. All right. So, as you know, it's been a long, tough, and winding road. At last, we've arrived, and we are elated. Every member of my caucus is elated about what happened because we've changed the world in a way that you rarely get an opportunity to do that. With the Inflation Reduction Act, this Senate Democratic majority has achieved what countless others have come to Washington promising to do but ultimately failed to deliver. And I am really confident that the Inflation Reduction Act will endure as one of the defining feats of the 21st century. And we did it without a single vote to spare. To do something with 50 votes is rough. To do small things with 50 votes is rough. To pass such a major piece of legislation with only 50 votes, an intransigent Republican minority, a caucus running from Bernie Sanders to Joe Manchin. Wow. Our bill reduces inflation, lowers costs, creates millions of manufacturing jobs, enhances our energy security, and is the boldest climate package in U.S. history. The Senate has now passed the most significant bill to fight the climate crisis ever, and it's going to make a difference to my grandkids. The world will be a better place for my grandchildren because of what we did today. And that makes me feel very, very good. Very, very good. We don't have to make things up. When the Republicans did their big tax bill in 2017, they said it was going to reduce your taxes to the average middle-class person, but it was aimed at the rich. We are talking about exactly what this bill does. We don't have to make it up because we are aiming directly at the American people and what they want. I want to again thank the leadership, hard work, and persistence of all of my colleagues, their teamwork, their spirit of teamwork, their knowledge that we had to pull together to get something done is awesome to me. Not awesome in the way the kids use the word, but in the biblical sense. You sort of tremble in awe before the angels of God. It's just amazing. So, let me say this. Saying no to something is easy. It gets mistaken. That, saying no, that's tough. There's no strategy or cunning to saying no. It's simple, it's easy. Legislating is about getting to yes. I've always been a yes person. And in the last 6 weeks, we have accomplished some incredible things. CHIPS, PACT Act, NATO, guns, WRDA, all bipartisan, all significant. But even though I prefer to work in a bipartisan way when it's really important, and the Republicans won't participate, we have to do it on our own. It's in a momentous achievement, momentous. And it's going to set our country on a path to better days ahead. I think the public will understand that, and I think it's going to help us in November significantly in two ways. First, the specific things we're doing that people care so much about. And second, hey, Democrats, even in this tough situation, polarized, 50-50, can actually get big things done. So there we are. People are going to see in the election, first, how far right the Republican Party has gone. Between the hearings about January 6th, the three court rulings on choice above all, but also guns and environment, and sort of the extremism and language and activity of so much of the Republican Party, I believe that people are seeing that they're an extreme party at the same time, and this is why this bill is so exciting in a political way. They're going to see Democrats are actually getting things done that matter to them, mainstream things that average folks, this is not an esoteric list. This is things that people have always cared about. In fact, when you look at the polling data, two of the top three things people want to see get done are closing loopholes on the rich and drugs, reducing the price of drugs. So I think it's going to have an effect. It's not the purpose of why we did it, but it's going to have a real effect, particularly in contrast to the Republicans who seem way over there, MAGA Republicans to the right side. Okay? Thank you, everybody.
Democrats have drawn harsh attacks from Republicans over the legislation's $430 billion in new spending and roughly $750 billion in new revenue.
But amazingly, Senate Democrats are misreading the American people's outrage as a mandate for yet another reckless taxing and spending spree. Democrats have already robbed American families once through inflation, and now their solution is to rob American families yet a second time. Democrats want to ram through hundreds of billions of dollars in tax hikes and hundreds of billions of dollars in reckless spending. And for what?
We told you, and by God, God knows the Republicans are by no means perfect, but we told you what was going to happen. That we had a struggling economy because of COVID, and this tax and spend, growing the government, throwing money at everything, is going to come back to bite us in the ass, and it did.
The VA has been negotiating drug prices for 30 years and pays half as much as Medicare pays. My amendment is simple. It says that Medicare should not pay any more than the VA for prescription drugs. If we do that, we will cut the cost of Medicare prescription drugs in half and save $900 billion.
The legislation is aimed at reducing carbon emissions and shifting consumers to green energy, while cutting prescription drug costs for the elderly and tightening enforcements on taxes for corporations and wealthy. Because the measures pay for itself and reduces the federal deficit over time, Democrats contend that it will help bring down inflation, an economic liability that has also weighed on their hopes of retaining legislative control in the run-up to the 2024 presidential election. Republicans, arguing that the bill will not address inflation, denounce the measures as a job-killing, left-wing spending wish list that could undermine growth when the economy is in danger of falling into recession. Democrats approved the bill by using a parliamentary maneuver called reconciliation, which allows budget-related legislation to avoid the 100-seat chamber's 60-vote threshold for most bills and pass on a simple majority. After several hours of debate, the Senate began a rapid-fire vote-a-rama on Democratic and Republican amendments on Saturday evening that stretched into Sunday afternoon.
Ladies and gentlemen,